and I got a really nice treat for you today. I love all my guests that come on here, all the experts. They all provide a lot of helpful content and resources and information for you to go out and implement in your business. But I'm really stoked to have this next gentleman on. His name is TJ Barker, and what he's going to talk about today is how you can integrate getting leads from Facebook and convert them and set them up so that they integrate in with your sales funnel, which is key. You know how that goes. You know, if you're as a real estate agent or even any small business owner, and you're trying to capture people's contact information so you can follow up with them and then help them out and do business with them, you know, you got to have a nice, smooth, sequential type of funnel or some type of system going on there so you can capture these leads. Because just because you generate them, if you don't convert them and capture them and put them into some type of a mechanism so you can do business with them, you know, so you're just spinning your wheels in the sand. So I met TJ on Facebook, and I had the pleasure of talking to him on the phone, and we're kind of like-minded, so we kind of just met up, I think, just in some Facebook group, and you know, we were just getting to talking, and I reached out to him, and I said, hey, TJ, you know, I'm doing this thing, and I'd love to bring you on and interview you if you could kind of share, you know, that strategy that you have going on. I think it'd be really valuable for people to know, really helpful. So I'm really excited to have this next guy on. You know, take some good notes, pay attention, turn your phone off, and take action on what this gentleman's going to say, because I think it's going to be really exciting. So let's just jump into it. How's it going, TJ?
Excellent, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. So this is one of my passions. I mean, I'm a loan officer by trade, but one of the things I believe in as salespeople, our most important job is to be able to market. You know, no matter what you're selling. Real estate, mortgages, auto sales, insurance, you know, whatever the case may be, you got to know how to market, and marketing is my passion, and I love speaking about it with people. So I'm excited, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is great. I noticed right off the bat, it looks like you kind of you know some things a little bit. You've got a nice little, you got your little picture. You know, you got the, what do they call that? It's like the lower 1/3 there with your name.
Yeah, the lower third.
Yeah, so you're good with the marketing. It's right off the bat. You're coming off pretty strong. So, okay, can you expand upon that little introduction a little bit, TJ? Just kind of just tell us briefly about, you know, how you got started in marketing, how you developed this passion, and how you kind of came to be an expert, if you will, in kind of like what you do today.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, the biggest thing is really kind of start from the beginning. You know, with this, and I will be brief because it is a long and boring story, but I think it's important to understand where I come from. You know, so I started, you know, in the financial services industry almost 20 years ago. And so I was 22 years old, worked for this company called MBNA America. We were the largest independent credit card issuer in the world. I started as a collector. You know, I was that guy that picked up the phone and called you when you didn't pay your credit card bill. So we've all had those phone calls, and we never liked to get them. I was that guy. Yeah, pretty good at it. Worked my way up through management. And my whole thing then was we were all just about credit cards to get people to spend more money. But what I didn't know was it was really about marketing. It was marketing to people to get them to spend more money, to use their credit cards. You know, so I had a good career there. After 9, almost 10 years, I got laid off. That sucked, not going to lie. I got into the mortgage biz. That was right when subprime was hot and heavy, or just getting ready to get going. I had a bunch of guys who worked for me at that time who didn't know anything. You know, who used to work for me at MBNA, I should say. Who got into the mortgage business, didn't know anything. Were lazy. They were making a ton of money. So I'm like, man, I can do this. If these jokers can do it, so can I. Went in, subprime, all refinanced, made a ton of money, and then, well, it happened. The market crashed. Lost everything. I had just gone out on my own for the first time. Within 2 months, we were basically out of business because I had put my license up, and 2 weeks later, all the investors started going out of business and said it hurt. So I struggled, man, and I struggled. And let me tell you something. You know, I said I'm a father. I was in my mid-30s at that time. You know, I already had a pretty successful career. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to not just pay my car payment, my credit card payments, but provide for my children, my wife, put food on the table. And right then and there, I made the decision. I want to learn how to market. So I went out. I used what little money I had left. I borrowed money from family, and I bought every book on marketing that I could. And I became really, really good at direct mail. I can send you a mail piece. To this day, I can still send you a mail piece. I can get you to open it, my mail piece, better than anyone else's out there. I can get a higher response ratio than anyone else that's out there. I can get a better conversion ratio than anyone else is out there. But that's great when you're doing refinances as a loan officer. But we all know for long-term sustained success in this business, it's all about the purchase market, right? I mean, you're in real estate, you know that. You know, for you guys, it's what you're saying. If you list, you last, right?
Yeah, we've got numerous sayings, but yeah, definitely agents, they like to focus on the listings, the sellers. Yeah.
Yep. So on the loan officer side of things, we're all about purchases. We have to be if we want that sustainable business, because refinancing is all about interest rates, right? Up and down, interest rates go down, you make a bunch of money, interest rates go up, you're sitting there, you're dying on the vine. So probably about 2 years ago, I made the conscious decision that I've got to get off that refinance roller coaster. So I did the same thing I'd done before. I went back into to the library and learned everything I could about marketing, but more from where the market was going or where our society's going, which is social media. Man, I made every mistake possible at the beginning there. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But luckily, I made those mistakes. I've learned a lot, and over that time frame, I've really learned how to be able to build and sustain a long-term profitable sales business via social media, primarily Facebook. You know, and that's pretty much where I am these days. You know something, if it happens 5 years from now where Facebook isn't the thing anymore, I'll take that next step wherever we are right now. But, I mean, in a nutshell, that is really my story of how I went from being a subprime loan officer charging people a ridiculous amount of money to being someone who now really works with real estate agents and other salespeople to help them build their business.
Awesome. That's great. You know, it seems that nowadays a lot of people, that the ones that are really flourishing and successful individuals like yourself, you know, those are the ones that seem they started off, they fell on hard times a little bit, and then, you know, they persevered, picked themselves up off the ground, brushed their shoulder off, and then just learn and just kind of put their nose to the grind. And then, you know, here you are, you know, in this day and age, you know, kind of right back up on your feet and some, you know, doing well. So I love stories like that. It's good stuff, TJ, no doubt. So, all right, well, let's just, I guess we can just get right into it then if you want to talk about Facebook. Now, how would someone, let's just say a real estate agent, okay, brand new agent, doesn't have any listings, no Rolodex, no database, no clients, no nothing, starting up from ground zero. How can someone say, okay, right after they watch this video, we say, all right, I got a Facebook profile and I got a page, I got some likes, I got some friends, you know, I'm doing the thing, I'm calling sphere of influence and all that, but how can I really start to get systematically up and running, generate leads from Facebook, and then get them so that they transition into a sales funnel and get up and running with a system, if you will?
Right. Well, I mean,
I know that's a loaded question, but
yeah. Call me. I would start off and say, just give me a call, and I'll help you out with that. But no, really, the way you got to look at Facebook is it's the world's largest cocktail party. All right. So we're all about networking, all about face-to-face, 30-second elevator speech, etc. Well, Facebook, social media in general, gives you that platform where you can really, I don't want to say choose who you are, but you can choose how people perceive you. You can make sure that what you're posting on Facebook is stuff that is engaging and it's entertaining. And it's getting people to interact with you and comment with you, and they start to see your success. And what's going to happen with that? And that's the biggest mistake I think most people make on Facebook. I know you want to talk to the leads, and we'll get to that, but you can't get to the leads until you get some of the basics down. All right, it's like you got to have the training wheels on, and you know, so you got to friend everyone possible, whether you know them or not, right? Like you're going to have some type of interaction with people. Be it on, if I post on, if you post something on Facebook and I interact with you on there, and somebody else interacts with you, I can send them a friend request at that point because we kind of have a mutual introduction through you. We've been talking on the same topic. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you're interacting with people via Facebook, and that you are really putting out there who you want to be and how you want to be seen. Don't be the guy that's complaining about the government every 30 seconds. Don't be the guy who's everything's miserable. My life sucks. I mean, as a real estate agent, is that how you want to be perceived?
No.
No, not at all. So control the narrative, basically, with that. So that's your first step, is to get out there, continuously post, consistently post, design or figure out who you are on Facebook and stick to it. Now, once you do that, that's when you're going to go ahead and get into the lead generation aspect of things. But have you ever worked internet leads before, Chris?
Have I ever worked internet leads before?
Right, Zillow, Trulia.
Yes, I did. I did the Zillow thing.
Right.
So I guess you could say that I have worked them, some effectively, not so effectively. Still kind of sitting on the fence with most of it, but it's challenging.
Yeah, let's throw it out there. It sucks.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it sucks. They're expensive. The conversion ratios are horrible. You're competing against 4 or 5 other people. Trulia, one of the things, Zillow does this as well, that I can't stand, is that, let's say you have a listing out there, and someone goes to Zillow and they search for in their area, and it's your listing that pops up. Well, your face is next to it, but so is 3 or 4 other real estate agents, right? So you're competing with Zillow for your own listing, and then you're paying Zillow for that lead right back to them. That's horrible, and they're expensive. What are they, like $25, $45, $50 a lead?
I don't even know. I think that I was giving a gallon of blood to Zillow every month to put ads up there. So they're laughing all the way to the bank. There's no question about that.
Yeah, absolutely. You're signing over your firstborn children, the deed to your house, all that kind of fun stuff. So with Facebook leads are internet leads, but they cost a heck of a lot less. They're a lot easier to work, and you can do a lot of really neat things with them as far as the follow-up aspect goes. But they're what I call high funnel leads. So if you think of a funnel, it's wide at the top and narrow at the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the key with the Facebook leads is obviously have your Facebook fan page, your profile, etc. Advertise to your target market, which is huge. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make when they're doing Facebook advertising is they don't target the right market. It's either way too narrow or way too broad. It's just like any type of direct marketing. You've got to have the accurate data. So I've spoken to people, they sit there and they say, I'm only targeting people who want to buy a $450,000 home, that make $250,000 per year, that live in this particular zip code and on this particular street. Well, guess what? There might be one person if you're lucky. And you're going to be throwing your money out. You're wasting your time doing that. So you can't have too narrow of a data or too narrow of a marketplace. But you also can't have too wide of one. You say, well, I want to target everybody in Washington, D.C. Well, there's going to be a heck of a lot of people clicking on your link or on your ads. It's costing you money every time they click. That isn't someone who's your target customer. So really defining your audience, defining your market, and making sure that your data matches up with that.
TJ, can I interject really quick and just
Absolutely.
kind of get you to expand on that? The light bulb just went off. This wasn't one of the original questions that I was planning on asking you, but sometimes these things, they take a shape of their own and it gets a little spontaneous. But it appears that you could probably, again, answer this question with probably one arm tied behind your back. But so with that being said about doing some effective and appropriate targeting for when you're about to put an ad on Facebook, let's just say, for example, you live in Maryland, right?
That's correct. Baltimore area.
So let's just say your farm area, whatever specific town it is in Maryland, if you just stepped out of the real estate class tomorrow and you wanted to do a Facebook ad, how would you go about finding people that are looking to buy or sell a house in your neck of the woods in Maryland? Like, what are the specific demographics you would pick? Male, female, age range. What's the criteria that someone should look for when they're filling out one of those ad forms to do an ad?
Me personally, and again, it's all going to depend on your area, and really, as I said, it's defining your customer. And hey, don't worry about the additional question, because as you can see, I get excited about this, and I tend to go on and on and on. So always pull me back in.
Yeah.
Me, I would find someone probably 25 to 55 years old. I'd do a income filter that would be in line with the area that I'm working on. So if I'm going for a place that the average home price is $125,000, I'm not going to pick a total household income of $250,000. And vice versa. If I'm targeting an area that has an average $400,000 sales price, I'm not going to target the total household income of $40,000. I avoid male, female, and honestly, that's about it.
Really? Okay.
Pretty simple. But like I said, the key is, there's so many different factors that are in there. it's going to be making sure that you have your income filters lined up correctly, your age bracket lined up correctly, and then the real key is going to be the ad itself. And that's when he said, when you need to know your target audience, you need to know that for when you're doing the ad. Your copywriting has got to be on point with your target audience, what they would traditionally look for. The pictures have got to be on point with the area that you're going into. You've got to be able to go ahead and, so I keep going back to that term, know your audience, but it's so important. For example, I've run ads where I've just grabbed a picture of a house. Well, it doesn't line up with the style of house that's in that neighborhood that I'm targeting. It's failed miserably.
Yeah.
Very few people are clicking on it. The people who are clicking on it aren't interested in anything. They're not the right person. But when I've actually gone out to the area, I've snapped a picture, a couple pictures of the area and put that up there. When people are looking in that area, they recognize that. They identify with that. So that ad that pops up on your sidebar in the middle of your newsfeed on Facebook, well, that's going to catch their attention. Subliminally, they're going to say, hey, wait a second. Isn't that the Dunkin' Donuts down the street from that house that we were just looking at a couple weeks ago? Let's go ahead and take a look at this and see what it is.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to throw you a nice curveball now, TJ, just to see if you can catch it. Would you happen to have available on maybe the tip of your fingers, maybe a recent ad that you've done for yourself that maybe you can kind of throw up on the screen and do a screen share, or one that you've seen? Again, I know that's a curveball. If you don't have one, I'm just kind of assuming maybe you did one recently, and you can say, well, here's an example of one that I did. Maybe it's for your particular business, or just maybe if someone that you know that has done an ad recently, just to have an example that you could probably throw up on the screen. Again, total curveball. If you can't knock that out of the park, no worries.
Yeah, here's the thing. A lot of the ads I run for the people that I work with.
Yeah. And
I don't want to necessarily put the ad that I've created for them out there.
Right. Yeah.
And and I don't really have any generic ones right now that I could say this performed and this hasn't performed at this point. So I mean, I can certainly add to this at a later point, a follow up with that. But right now, just again, to protect the people who I take relationships very seriously.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, and I don't want to throw that out there, without their permission.
That's why. See, that's why I called it a curveball. So yep. you did good. All right, that's cool. So maybe just hypothetically, like an example, like if you were going to say, okay, you're talking about the picture, make sure the picture corresponds appropriately. What would be some example, maybe like some words you would use for a headline? Like a title. Like, is there specific do's and don'ts as far as effective copy? Now you said that you're good at with like direct mail. You can get people to open the thing, and you get good response rates and all that. Is there some type of a recipe that you have as far as doing ads, where you can say, okay, when you're going to make a title, say this, but don't say that. Just underneath it, you do a little blurb. It's important to say this. You see where I'm going? Like, what's some good copy for an ad? Hypothetically, just say. Maybe if you're looking for first-time home buyers or whatever, if you're a real estate agent.
Well, what's the pressure point? Think about it. What are first-time home buyers looking for? What do they want? They want to go out and buy a $500,000 home. They want to have an $800 a month payment, and they don't want to put any money out of their pocket, right? So what I would do in a situation like that, if I was looking for a first-time home buyer, my ad would be possibly targeting local down payment assistance programs. Purchase this home for no money out of pocket, or low down payment government assistance program. Let the government help you buy your home. Something of that nature right there. People are going to see that, be like, God, what's this? And then you're going to have your copy underneath there, be like, hey, are you looking to buy a home? Are you a first-time home buyer in name your city and state? Did you know that there are several programs that are offered locally to help first-time home buyers just like yourself purchase a home with little to no money down? If this is something that could be interesting to you, or you'd be interested in, click the link below to learn more. There you go, something that simple. Put that headline out there, make sure it's capitalized and bold and all that kind of fun stuff so people see it, it grabs their attention, and then speak to them. In sales copy, you're always asking questions. Heck, you notice when we're in this interview, I'm asking you a ton of questions right back, right?
You are, yes.
I just did it again. But that's it. You want, and why? Because you just nodded your head. People, instinctively, when we read something, we speak to ourselves. So you always want people to say yes. So you're always asking questions. Or people say no, because then you want them to eliminate themselves. They're not a prospect at that point. So ask questions. Do you want to buy a home for little to no money down? Yes, I do. Do you want assistance from the government to help with your closing costs? Yes, I do. Do you want to buy this home for the best possible price? Yes, I do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. It's the psychology of it is that's interesting. That's a nice golden nugget right there. Just to recap on the past 15, 20 minutes of you talking, I would say that was quite valuable what you provided just now, TJ. We could probably stop the interview now, and then the people would be like, "There you go, go do it." You know, I mean, that alone, that was really good stuff. I'm really appreciative of that, TJ. So awesome. Let's just all right, let's just take it a step further now. Let's say, a person goes out and they put up the ad. They know what they're going to say. They got nice pictures. They got their demographics all dialed in. They got they know how much money they want to spend as far as a budget. Now, can you, with Facebook, connect it, if we're going to start talking conversion now with the sales funnel, can you connect it so if a person clicks on the ad, and then where do they go from there? Does Facebook allow you to bring them to this this type of web page that I know it's commonly referred to as like a squeeze page, where you can say, okay, enter your name and email address here, and then I'll send you your free report on everything you ever want to know about being a first-time home buyer, but we're afraid to ask, or something like that. So it doesn't violate terms of service or anything like that. I read that somewhere before. I don't know that. No. Facebook is kind of weird. You got to be careful with what you do, or they'll close your account. Stuff like that.
They'll charge a little bit more per ad if you're taking them outside of Facebook. Your cost per click will probably go up a little bit. But to be able to go to that squeeze page, as you said, where you can go ahead and get the capture or lead capture information, the follow-up information, that's what you absolutely want. And to kind of go from there, I mean, I said the ads, that's the high funnel portion of it. That's the easiest part of the entire process of running Facebook ads. And for some reason, people think it's the most daunting piece. But look, I told you about the data. I mean, yes, we can get into much more detail about pinpointing the data. But as you said, if you're a basic, brand new real estate agent, just got your license, you want to go generate leads, that's what you do. You go out there, you target your zip code, age, income. But the most important thing with these leads, as with any type of leads, but really with these Facebook leads, it's relentless follow-up. And that's where you take that lead from the high funnel down to the narrow funnel with this. And that's the most important piece. So you have to capture that information. You have to immediately make that phone call. Any type of internet leads, any type of internet marketing, you have got to pick up that phone and make that contact. And I know that hurts. And I know that phone, when that lead comes in, it's like 300 pounds. And you just can't pick it up and put it to your ear and call someone because none of us likes to cold call, right? But you get into it, you make a game out of it. How many no's until I get a yes, that type of thing. It's going to take me 9 no's to get a yes, then let me get those 9 no's knocked out. Let me make the 10 calls to get those 9 no's taken out of the way. And there's relentless follow-up through your email autoresponder, through friending them on Facebook. We have a few little secret sauce type things that we share with the people that I work with, which can really increase that brand recognition and that constant follow-up really without you doing anything. It's completely automated. But that's the key. Because just like with any type of lead, that person's not clicking on there to talk to you right away. That's why they're not picking up the phone. That's why they're clicking on a Facebook ad. Because they want to read something. They want to have that phone call. They're probably not at the point right today where they're ready to make that buying decision. It's going to be your job to add that to your database, nurture that database, and then eventually turn them into paying customers. Right.
Good. All right. That might be a good segue into maybe now that we got the 500-foot overview of how it all works, generally speaking. How can somebody map it out and structure it as far as like a blueprint going forward, and say, all right, because you know how agents are, and you probably do a lot of goal setting, I would imagine, TJ, for yourself. You'd say, all right, well, 30 days from now, my goal is I'm going to have X, Y, and Z, and then maybe 6 months from now, my goal is going to be I'm going to have a list of people, of like 100 people in my database, or a year from now, I want the goal to be, how can you plan it out that way with goals, or how would you structure this whole plan?
It's all going to be about what you're willing to invest, monetarily and time. Okay, so if you want to have 1,000 people in your database in 30 days from now, you can absolutely do it.
Okay.
It might cost you $3,000 to $5,000, but you can absolutely do it. Which, if you have the money, do it. One of my coaches many years ago told me, the person who has the largest database wins. Now, I agree with that, but I think it's the person who has the largest database and continuously markets to that database wins. Right there, because you can have 1,000 people in there, but if you only touch base with them on the holidays, you're wasting your time. Right. So I think it would be more along the lines of kind of getting an idea of how much you want to spend. So you figure if the average Facebook lead costs you between $3 to $5 with that, and you want to put $500 per month into it, you should be able to get somewhere between 75 to 100 leads in your database at that point. So figure out what you're going to invest in there. Figure out what your conversion ratios are from your standard database marketing. And if you're in sales at this point, you should absolutely know about database marketing and have a good idea what your numbers are. So do you get 1 out of 10? Do you get a referral from 1 out of 10 customers in your database, 20, 50, 100, whatever the case is? So know your numbers. Figure out what you want to do for the year. Say, I want to do 100 loans this year. I know I get a referral from 1 out of every 20 people in my database. Well, it means I need, 2,000 people in my database, right? So hopefully I did the math right. I don't like public math very much. But
I'm not much of a math guy either. But I think we get the point about like what you're saying with the numbers, and you just you need.
Yep. So you start with your numbers. You figure out your budget. The average cost is going to be $3 to $5 once you get it tuned in, and really you go from there. And you constantly fine tune it. And I would love to give you the definitive answer, but I've got guys I work with who do the same marketing strategy. They get leads for about $1 to $1.50 per click. My area it's $3 to $5 per click. Your area could be $8 per click. It's not per click. I should say per lead. I should say. So you've got to go do the testing up front. So do a $5 test. Put $25 aside for a week. Do a $5 test for 5 days. That's going to kind of give you a good idea of what we call our CTR, click-through ratio. People that are clicking on your ad, going to your landing page, and then from your landing page they're filling out your web form. Once you have those numbers down, you know what your cost per lead is, then you can expand it out to whatever your goal is.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Yeah, sounds good. So as far as the biggest challenge with all of this, it's a pretty much it's like it's a time and a monetary hoop that you have to jump through for the most part. I mean, no, or what? Okay, so what's the biggest challenge?
Here's the biggest challenge: is consistency.
Okay.
Everybody's going to go ahead, and this is just like going back to the Zillow leads we spoke about in the beginning. Everybody's going to go out and they're going to drop $100, and they're excited, and they're not going to get a deal out of it. And it's going to be like, this doesn't work. That guy, TJ, sitting in Baltimore, doesn't know what he's talking about. It doesn't work. Waste of time, waste of money. Like any type of marketing, you've got to be consistent.
Right.
You've got to keep working it. Go back to my direct mail analogy at the beginning. I can send out 1,000 pieces of mail 1 week and pull 3 loans out of it. I can send out 1,000 pieces of mail the next 2 weeks and get nothing. But over time, I'll consistently average one loan per every 500 pieces of mail I send out. Same thing with this. You've got to be consistent with it. You might hit it out of the park on your first day. You might get nothing for your first week. It's about consistency. It's about consistently implementing. It's about consistently being in front of people's eyes. It's about consistently following up. And that is the biggest challenge anyone has, whether they have a $25 per week budget or a $500 per week budget. It's consistency.
I tell you, TJ, it's like you're preaching to the choir. I was talking to myself, listening to you as you were saying this, and I'm like, God, this guy is spot on. He's hitting the nail right on the head. Because I'm a very big victim of doing that. Like, I'm all in. Like, I'll start something, and I try not to be one of those people like, hey, New Year's resolution, I'm gonna go out and do Facebook ads, and then do nothing when March rolls around.
Right.
But yeah, I totally consistency is definitely one of the things that I want to try to improve for this next new year coming up. So yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that.
Yeah, it's a lesson I learned too, man. I learned it this year. One of the things I talk about is the 97%. And what that is that you've heard of the 80-20 rule.
Oh, the Pareto principle, I think.
So yeah. I call it the 97% rule.
Yeah.
And what that is that only 3% of people will actually consistently implement. This really applies to salespeople. So you've probably done it. I know I've done it. I know I could walk down to my office right here and pull 20 loan officers aside that have done it. We'll all spend all this money on coaching, right? And then we all get so nervous that our competitors are doing the same thing. Well, they're not, because only 3% of people actually implement any strategy that they're given and consistently implement that.
Yeah.
It's happened to me this year, man. I was crushing it earlier in the year. Summertime came around, got all lazy, heading down the beach a little bit. Thought I'd put things on autopilot for a while. Went a little dark on Facebook. Man, it doesn't take long for people to forget about you. And again, that goes back to the beginning when I said you've got to have the basics of Facebook down. You've got to have your profile built up. You've got to talk to people out there so they know who you are. So when they see your ad, they're comfortable with who you are. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're a friend, but they probably seen you out and about on Facebook, tagging someone else's post. They've seen your ads several times, so they're getting comfortable with it. Consistency.
Awesome. I just thought of another one that I could give to you. I think that it's not so much of a curveball, but it's definitely. I'm glad that I actually thought about this just now. But you told us about all the awesome things that a person should do. Run down some of your top actions a real estate agent or a person in general should avoid doing on Facebook because you could potentially get your account closed. And I just hear a lot of that where Facebook is quick to shut you down, and it's not like you could pick up the phone and call them, or they may or may not even tell you why. It's just I know that there are some do's and don'ts with Facebook. What are some don'ts? Like, say, okay, if you're a real estate agent, you should avoid these handful of behaviors. I know that there's probably some that you've kind of seen over the years.
Yeah, well, a couple things. And this isn't necessarily about Facebook terms of service. This is more about public perception. It's how your audience views you. Don't always talk about work. We see so many salespeople, real estate agents, loan officers, insurance agents, etc. All they talk about is work. Another listing today. Closed another one today. Wrote another policy today. Or, man, what do these people expect? I'm not a miracle worker. They haven't paid a bill in 4 years. How am I going to get them approved for a loan? People tune you out. If the narrative is always the same, people are going to tune you out. So make sure that you're personalizing yourself as well. You're humanizing yourself. Let people to know you. What do they always tell us? People do business with folks that they know, like, and trust. Give people reason to know, like, and trust you. Now, again, I know this isn't necessarily the Facebook ads. This is back to the whole profile thing. But, again, that's the platform of everything. That's the foundation. Give people the opportunity to know, like, and trust you. Learn about who you are. It doesn't mean you have to put the whole world out there. It doesn't mean that if you have the flu one day, you have to sit there and describe all the problems that you're having because you have the flu. But don't talk about business nonstop. All
right. Sounds good, TJ. Perfect segue. I think we can just jump right into it. With that being said, I hate that it's so cliche, but give us the opportunity right now to know, like, and trust you. Tell us about all the awesome stuff that you're doing. Your services, I know you said you're a loan officer, but I know that you do other things. Like you said, you have like a Facebook coaching program, and there's different endeavors that you have on the side, I would imagine. So kind of tell us about what you got going on.
Sure. Well, as I said, my primary position is as a loan officer.
Yep.
And my business is built upon relationships. So we have a platform that we call Agent Acceleration. It's for sales agents, whether it's insurance, real estate primarily. They're the two that we focus on. The one area that we do not focus on is loan officers. So if you're a loan officer watching this, you're not really my guy. But we focus on teaching people the ins and outs of Facebook. We have a 12-week, what we call boot camp, which is taking you from video marketing to database marketing to Facebook profile to really starting off with the basics of how to turn your video camera on and how to smile for the video camera, how to set your Facebook profile up correctly so people can actually find you, how to make friends on Facebook, how to influence on people on Facebook, to the final point, which is lead generation, team building, etc. That goes for 12 weeks. It's pretty impressive. Now, you can get all this for the cost of nothing. So I don't charge for this. So, well, let me rephrase that. There's not a monetary cost for it. There's a cost, which is loyalty, which is building a relationship, building a partnership moving forward with folks. So I only take people in to work with us after we've had the opportunity to speak to each other several times on the phone, similar to you and I, and that we want to go ahead and build a profitable relationship for everyone that's involved with it. So that's that's the main thing that we do to go out there and build business, is help other people build their sales business.
TJ, I think my head just exploded. I was totally waiting for you to say, yeah, well, we do this for the cost of $1,995 down, and it's $500 a month or something like that. I'm like, oh God. I was like, you don't have to say the price. Don't say it. Just give a website. And then you were like, we do it for free. And then no, literally, I was just like, what?
Like, it's a bit of a different approach, but look, we're all in this together. It says you're a real estate agent, I'm a loan officer. Nothing happens unless you sell a home. I don't get an opportunity to do a purchase loan. I don't get an opportunity to get a referral. I don't get an opportunity to get a refinance, deal in the future unless you sell the home. Same thing with the title company. Same thing with the homeowners insurance agents. We're all in this together. So everyone working together, learning tactics and strategies so you can have a symbiotic relationship to take everyone's business to higher, more profitable levels. That just makes sense to me.
That's amazing. I can't remember the last time that I heard anything like that. That's like, if you looked up value in the dictionary, that's what you would get. Like, who does that? Like, that's amazing.
Me.
Wow.
I'm the guy who does that. So if you want to know more about this, honestly, the easiest way to do it is to reach me through Facebook. If you go to www.friendtjb.com, just want to send you right to my Facebook profile, send me your friend request. I'll accept it. Shoot me a message. We'll sit there and chat, get on the phone. We also have our website that's coming up, which is agentacceleration.tv. So it's not a membership site. We're going to go in and have a weekly Saturday strategy session. I just want to show you different ways that you can incorporate social media marketing into your sales business. So if for nothing else, go to the website, bookmark it, and check that out, because we're going to have some really good stuff that we're giving away on that. Again, and that's not even, you don't have to have the relationship at that point. We're just putting it out there to try to have the goodwill to help out anyone who's interested.
I don't even really know what to say. I'm like speechless right now. Wow, that was. I wish that more people kind of had that thought process. You know what I mean? That we're kind of, even in this day and age, times are tough. People are struggling, but to really come out and be that benevolent is just, it's unheard of in this day and age. And it's really refreshing to hear someone like yourself talk about, hey, we're doing this stuff. We're just trying to build relationships. I'm looking to help you, help your business. We need more people like you, TJ. That's phenomenal. Good stuff.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on here. Like I said, I know a lot of times I jump off topic or I keep going on, but again, hopefully it's my passion coming through with this, because I get so excited about what can be achieved on these current platforms, on the social media platforms, and I'm good at it, but I'm not the best by any means. Barely scratching the surface with this. I pay pretty significant amount of money for some coaches that teach me. So the folks that I work with, they're not just getting what I've discovered. They're getting high-level stuff from folks that, for lack of a better term, I sometimes I feel like they're the ones who are pushing Facebook right now. They're keeping Facebook profitable at this point. So anything that we learn from there, it goes on, and our partners learn about it as well.
Right. Awesome. All right, TJ, I think that was a phenomenal presentation that you did just now. Can't wait to go back and kind of listen to it again and really take more detailed and copious notes on some of the things that you said. Implement some of those strategies. I know that there was some really good stuff in there. I got to go back and kind of go through it one more time. Love it. Thank you very much. Thank you actually would be an understatement at this point, TJ. Appreciate it. Again, you giving us your time coming on here doing this and teaching us all this great information. Folks, there it is. Go out, make it happen, and make me and TJ proud. You know, let me know, and folks, give me your feedback on this. Once you try some of these strategies, you know, try to set up some ads, get your Facebook up and running, see if you can get your funnel going, and let me know how it works out for you. You know, let me know what you would like to know more about, how we can help you in the future. You know, if you need some assistance, feel free to reach out and let us know what you need and what you would like to know and what would help you moving forward. So that's it for this module, folks. And TJ, you're the man. I don't know what to say.
Thanks, bud. Happy New Year, man.
Yeah. Happy New Year to you, sir. And glad to see that you're feeling better now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And all right. So we got a new year coming up upon us. Let's go and make some big things happen. All right, folks. Thanks for watching this, and take care.